Want to grow your business exponentially next year? Consider hosting an online summit. Hi, welcome to my new channel. My name is Rashida Dow, and for years I've had another channel on YouTube where I help people move abroad and take career breaks. I started this channel to help you find ways to monetize the skills and talents you already have so that if you want to work from anywhere, you can do it on your own. You don't need anyone's permission, you don't need anyone's help. For the past 3 years, I've hosted an annual virtual summit that gets larger every year and more profitable every year. With a virtual summit, 2 to 3 months of hard work. Now, I'll admit it's much harder work than I actually want to do. But with 2 to 3 months of hard work, I fund my entire year. So here are some best practices for your next virtual summit. So coming to you as a business owner who's made multiple six figures running virtual summits, I'm here to tell you some best practices. First up, identify your goals. Do you want to make money? Do you want to expand your community? What do you want to get out of hosting a virtual summit? What about both? Both is good, but sometimes you have to pick which one is more important because the one of those, community or profit, the one of those that's more important to you will help you make decisions in the planning process. The first year my business partner and I ran our summit, we were focused on audience growth. We were new to the industry. We'd been doing it on our own individually. We'd both been focused in this industry individually, but we'd never done a project of this size together before. So we did it together and we focused on audience growth. And we used our summit the first year to expand our communities and expand our outreach. And we ain't make no money. Like we made a little bit of money, but that free ticket level had people coming from out of the woodworks to get tickets, people who possibly may not have been a good fit for what we were offering, but they saw a free ticket and they signed up. After all, aren't you more likely to sign up for a free ticket than a paid thing, especially if you don't know the people who are offering the product? Yep, free tickets were definitely the way we went the first year, and we have no regrets about that. The signups that we got our first year really expanded our email list. So we were able to stay in constant contact with that audience over the next year, and they became our target market for the second year summit. Now, after the first year, we no longer offered free tickets. One, because it took a lot of work, and doing a lot of work for very little money is just not part of our philosophy. That's not why you're here, right? You're not here to find out how to do a lot of work for no money. I know. All right. But what we got from the first year were learnings, really important learnings that we took into our second and our third year. What we also got from our first year was trust. People came to the summit, they saw what it was, they understood it, they saw the caliber of work that we put on, and they were hooked. So the next year we had a $15 ticket level. So our entrance to the summit was still quite low. So people who didn't know us would still be willing to invest in that ticket level and buy tickets. I made more money, but not a lot. Not a lot. We made more money though. Now, going a little bit deeper into the making money area, because I think that's why you're here. If making money is your number one desired outcome from a summit, how do you want to make money? I've already talked about making money through ticket sales, but there are other ways to make money from a summit. You could use that as the entry point in a funnel to sell another product. That's not something that we really do. We do sell other products in this business, but the summit is the big thing, right? It's not like a long lead-in where we're selling, a $5,000 class and starting you off with a free summit. But there's nothing wrong with that because the people who come to your free summit will see what you have to offer and they will know you and they will trust you and want to buy your $5,000 course, or they will say, nah, that's not for me. And both of those are very valid responses from your audience, and they're both the response you want from the people who fit into those categories. You don't want people paying for your products and services if you're not the right person for them, but you want the right people to come to you. I mentioned this earlier, but an online summit is going to grow your community significantly. you have to know what you're going to do with the email address of the people who sign up. You have to know if you're going to foster a community outside of the summit. What are you going to do? A Facebook group or something on Mighty Networks or some other platform is a great way to create community from the people who attend the summit. We currently have a Facebook group of maybe around 8,000 people. And it all started from the first Facebook group at the summit. We had a Facebook group that was dedicated solely to the summit, and we've had one. We had one this year. I don't know if we had one last year. I think we did. And each of those communities grows and fosters people and keeps building the trust with us, and it helps create community for the people who are interested in the outcome to help support each other as they create the outcome for themselves. Have you considered hosting an online summit? What's holding you back from doing it? Let me know in the comments. If you've thought about it and you're like, I don't know, tell me in the comments. What is it? What is it that holds you back? And I'll create content to help you with that over the next few weeks. Okay. Another thing to keep in mind before you start creating your online summit is that to do it right takes a lot of work. It's not like, oh, I spent a couple of hours here and a couple of hours there, because you've attended a summit before where you can tell people didn't put work into it and it felt like a waste of your time. You know, that's not the way to build trust with people. Even if it's a free ticket, they want high quality stuff, right? They want it to be good. And that's how we build trust with our speakers and our audience, is we provide a quality summit, which you can see details of at exodussummit.com. One of the other things that I think is a best practice for an online summit is deciding what your topic is and niching down as much as possible, right? Make the topic as small as possible so that people that are interested in it will know it's for them, right? We are very clear who our audience is and what we can provide them. And because we do an annual summit, each year we've niched down to one topic that they want to talk about. And how do we know that they want more information on this topic? Because we have a Facebook group and we see what they're talking about in the Facebook group and we pay attention, right? So we've created this community for them, and this community helps us create future summits. Another best practice, talk to your audience as much as possible in the run up to your summit. So before we do a summit, we go live in our Facebook groups, multiple Facebook groups, our general community group and a group for ticket holders about once a month. About once a week in the weeks or more in the weeks coming up to the summit. We're always in there. We're answering questions in the group, but we're also creating videos where people can ask us, live videos, people can ask us questions so they can get their questions asked. Our most important question to answer is this product, this virtual summit, a good fit for you, the individual purchaser? We don't want you to buy something that's not a good fit for you. And so we go over and over, we talk about what it is, what you get at the different tier levels, because we typically have 2 different tier levels. So what is it that you're getting? And is it right for you, right? We have this conversation over and over again. And I know some people who are like, I'm in it, are like, why do they keep doing this? But it's because new people show up and we want them to know what they're getting. We want to be very clear with them. We want to answer their questions. We want you going into the summit fully prepared, because during the summit, we don't have a lot of time for that, right? During the summit, we are active, we are live, we are online. And we want to focus on the summit. During the summit, we have admin help that will help us behind the scenes, but my business partner and I know more about anything than admin help that we hire, right, to help us. And so we want to make sure that the questions that we can answer or might need an answer from one of us are answered before the summit. So we talk to our audience a lot before the summit, a lot. We talk to people who aren't in our audience yet, but maybe purchasers on our YouTube channel. We talk anywhere we can talk about the summit. We talk about the summit. It does 2 things. It helps people understand and set their expectations. And new customers show up, right? When we talk publicly about this on any platform, we find new customers. We're selective about which platforms we go on. And new customers are like, hey, that feels like a good fit because we're clear about what we're offering. All right. My last best practice is about boundaries. We're going to call it boundaries. What I'd like to say is that you can't please everybody in running an online summit. Our first year that we did this, we had 3,000 people sign up, over 3,000. Someone's going to be mad about something. Someone's not going to like the way you did something. And the number one complaint we get, and we don't get a lot of complaints, we get very, very few complaints, but the number one complaint we get is, I understood what was offered and I received what was offered, but I want something else. Number one complaint. And when I say number one, very few, right? Little complaints, very few, a handful, less than a handful, but they're the kind of complaints that we don't pay much attention to, I hate to say it, because it literally is things like, you have 2 tiers. I paid for the lowest tier ticket, but I want the benefits that come with the highest tier. I don't want to pay to upgrade to the highest tier, but I feel like I deserve the highest tier benefits. Okay, cool, great. And what is underlying that comment is someone feels like they didn't get the entire benefit, and they want everyone to get the same thing, right? They want everyone to get the same thing, but they don't want to pay the higher price for everyone to get the same thing, right? They want everyone to get the same thing at the lower price. So they're trying to dictate to us what we should give, what we should offer, and what price we should offer it at. That's what that boils down to. And I just can't care. As a business owner, right? I have thousands of people who are attending this summit. I can't please everybody. So basically, like I said, you can't please everybody, please yourself. Make sure the virtual summit you create is a virtual summit you can support, right? Your audience, if they trust you, may not be entirely concerned about what you provide. Our online summit is a party. People who don't need our help show up from our community, show up just to hang out. They're like, I'm in the Facebook group. This seems like fun. Let's just kick it, right? Like, let's just kick it. We do a Move Abroad Summit, and a lot of the women who've attended summits before and have already moved abroad come back like, we hanging out. This is our week, right? Like it's old home week. We just chilling. And for that, I'm really appreciative. Our community comes even if they don't need it. What will make our community not come? A crappy summit. And a crappy summit is going to happen if you try to please everybody, because it's not going to be sustainable. It's not sustainable, right? Like when you're talking about, it's been thousands of people for us every year we've done the summit. I don't think I'm a person who can please thousands of people. I don't think I'm a person who wants to please thousands of people. I think I'm a person who wants to be very clear about what I'm offering. You may not love it. You don't have to buy it. But I can't keep changing things to make thousands of people happy. And I don't think you should either, right? I don't think you should either. We have this last summit, we had about 20 sessions, right? And after the summit was over, after someone bought a ticket, they were like, I think everyone should have only been allowed to go to 3 to 4 sessions. Well, girl, the rest of the people wanted to go to all 20, right? Like, it's cool that you think that. But the majority of our audience wants to attend all the sessions. You want to attend 3 or 4 sessions and get some other benefits. I can't run my summit for what you want, especially when you bought your ticket, understanding what you would get and what you would not get. It's just not it's not a sustainable way to run a business. So please yourself, create a business and a virtual summit that you can support living the life you want to live. That doesn't mean it's raggedy, right? That means that you give it what you have and you don't let them other people stress you out. That's the number one rule of Exodus Summit. We're not letting nobody stress us out. Nothing's an emergency. Keep this in mind. A little hint, a little extra best practice. Nothing's an emergency for online summits. People will treat you, thousands of people will act like their immediate request is an emergency. It's not. It's not. And that's how you run an online summit and don't go crazy. I'll have more detailed things coming up soon, more detailed videos about the structure and the process of an online summit to give you more of a backbone of how it runs. But I just want to start with some best practices so you have an idea of whether it's something you'd be interested in. All right. If you want more ideas of how to make money from anywhere, grab a ticket to Exodus Summit 2022. The theme was Move Abroad Money, and we talked about how to make money anywhere in the world. You'll also see how to run a six-figure summit. You'll see what we did, what's going on, what it looks like, what the structure of a six-figure summit looks like. If making money online would make your life just a little bit easier, go ahead and subscribe to this channel and turn on the notification bell. I'm going to be reviewing a number of different revenue streams for the next few months, end of the video, and I can't talk anymore. All right, I'm going to cover a variety of revenue streams over the next few months, and I think you should be here. So subscribe, bell. See you next time. Bye.